Hello everyone, welcome from Gilbert, Arizona. Today we are going to take a look at what's going on in the Phoenix Metro real estate market. So I am grabbing out my crystal ball. Yeah, really. It's kind of what it's like these days, guys. I wanted to film outside today. It is a gorgeous day here in Gilbert, Arizona. And if you are experiencing any snow, I apologize. Like, you don't have to shovel sunshine. So if you want to move here, I am your girl. But let's talk about the market and some numbers. So it is kind of a crapshoot right now, and differing people have differing opinions. But my recommendation is that you always ask your agent these questions, because if they can't explain what's going in the market at all, like they're not knowledgeable, move on and find somebody who's keeping up to date, because at least you can make some informed decisions based on numbers, and that's all we can do, right? We cannot predict the market. So from Zillow, a quote: despite mortgage rates reaching 23-year highs, low inventory levels are spurring surprisingly strong competition. That was what we were seeing over the last year. We had low inventory, which was keeping prices up, and competition with buyers was still hanging on. Between September and November, two things happened. One, we saw mortgage rates increase up towards 8%, and we'll touch on that again a little more later. We also saw more homes coming to the market, a little bit more than usual. So we went in Phoenix from 11,500 listings to about 16,500 listings. And it seemed like it wasn't going to stop, but it did. And now we've reduced back down to about 16,100 active listings. And that's still low. We should be up normally towards 22,000, 25,000 in a balanced market. So we are still seeing some multiple offers. We are still seeing some competition on homes, but for sellers, you still got to show your home nicely. You can't just throw it on the market, and you need to price it correctly. And if you are looking at a year ago prices and comps to price your home, it might not be accurate. So you may have to swallow your pride and say, well, my home would have sold at 900,000 last year and it's only going to sell for 850 now, but you didn't actually lose money, right? So a lot of people are sitting on a whole lot of equity, and you kind of have to just look at the big picture and have your agent explain it to you. Another quote from Showing Time, Mike Lane: buyers and sellers remain active in every economic environment, including when mortgage rates are high. That is because people still have to move. They still have life events. They are still moving for work. They are still having babies and need a bigger house. They might be going through a divorce and having to downsize. So there are life events that no matter what the mortgage rates are, people are still moving. So let's kind of talk about the prices a little bit. They're all over the place, right? Realtor.com and Zillow are the only two that are thinking we are going down. Zillow 0.2%, Realtor.com is saying 1.7%. We have all the way up to 4.1 of an increase being predicted. So we're averaging at a 1.5% increase. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but that's kind of a normal appreciation rate. So, you know, is that a bad thing? As long as we are not crashing and going down, it's not a horrible thing. So prices there. I'm not sure how much appreciation we're actually going to see over the next year. So we'll just kind of have to wait and play it out. And we can talk about that specifically in your situation and what it might mean for you. Mortgage rates dropped. So we hit close to 7.79 was the average. I think a couple places hit 8%. Mostly right now I'm seeing that we've ticked down to about 7.22%. So that's what the graph here is going to show. What that is doing is making the buyers who kind of were like, we're out at 8%, come back and take another look. And then the Fed just announced today that they are looking at maybe 3 decreases next year. So some powers that be are predicting that we might hit the 6% or 5% rate in 2024. Again, no crystal ball, no promises. I don't know if that's going to happen. But if that does happen, buyers are coming back. And I don't think we're going back down to 3%, honestly. That was just crazy that we stood, down at 3% for so many years. And kudos for all the people in 3% mortgages, like you are doing amazing. But a lot of people aren't going to see that. So when it hits 5 or 6%, they're going to come back out. But what that means is competition and low inventory again, and buyer wars and bidding wars, And, I think your best bet still is what I've been saying all year. If you need to move, find the home you want, buy it, and then refinance when the rates go down. And I know a lot of people don't like that strategy, but it is what it is. All right, so new listings have been stabilizing. Here's a graph that kind of shows the black line. Again, we saw an increase in listings come to market. If we see buyer activity increase, we're gonna hold there, or we're gonna go down where we don't have enough listings again. That's holding the prices steady. That may see prices increase a little bit. So time will tell, we'll see in the spring. With normal seasonality, spring gets busy. So if that's the case, if you're a buyer or a seller, you probably don't want to wait. 5 top reasons why sellers sold this year. Big one, to move closer to family. I think part of that is the aging boomer population, and part of that is the pandemic, where people just want to be back with their family. They want to be closer. They want to be able to see their family and friends more often. So I think we're seeing a lot of that. Retirement is still at 31%. It's not the hugest thing. And some people think, they sell their home and they go straight to an assisted living, or they don't rebuy a house, but that's not true either. Some people do need to do that, but that's not always the case. Job relocation at 33%, change in family situation 12%, and they just don't like their neighborhood anymore. I don't know if a lot of people in Arizona move because they just don't like the neighborhood anymore, because again, a lot of people are still in those 3 to 4% interest rates, but it is out there as a statistic. I touched on this earlier. Our median days on market are still sitting around 50, which is pretty good, because that's not just talking about you're waiting 50 days for an offer. That means from start to finish, it's 50 days. So less than 2 months to list your home, go through the mostly 30-day process, and then be moved on. So we've got that. And then average number of offers received is sitting at 2.5. So we are still seeing more than one offer come in on a home. We did see a little trend where we are seeing a lot of contracts fall out. That was, I believe, in my opinion, mostly due to those interest rate increases. So maybe they didn't lock in. They were quoted a 7.2 rate, and then it went up to 7.8, and they got a little cold feet, or they couldn't afford it anymore. And we were seeing some contracts tend to fall apart. But I think we are past that. So in Gilbert, nothing really has changed. We're still in a slightly stronger seller's market, probably still 450 homes for sale in the area, and a median price around $650,000. And then just in general, my sellers, if you have been thinking about putting your home on the market, January, middle of January is the time to do it. And if you are thinking about that, let's talk now. Sellers that are already on the market with another agent, if you have been on the market between 60 and 90 days, my best advice for you is to take it off the market for 45 days. If you take it off the market for 45 days, you will, one, reset the MLS days on market clock. So what usually happens if your days on market get higher, your offer's price goes down, because people think that you're sitting on either you're overpriced, or you're sitting on the home or sitting on the market for a reason. There's something wrong with the home. And then if you reset, so that's resetting the clock. Again, you want to relook at the prices, but if you stop right now when things are slower in the holiday time frame, and then put it back on in January, you're going to hit that surge where buyers are coming back to the market. They are through the holidays, they're back in full force. The mortgage rates have ticked down a little bit, and you're going to see a brand new surge of buyers come in for your house. Again, my recommendation for buyers, if you are thinking about moving or buying, again, I think spring, like second week of January, is your time where you want to hit it hard, because that competition sounds like it's coming again in 2024. So find the house you want, refinance it if those rates come down quite a bit for you. Usually 1% is my benchmark. If you're at a 7% rate and you can refinance for 6%, it's worth the cost. If even lower, even better. So anyway, that is my take on the market today. I hope you hung in there with me. Again, bragging about my weather. So I'll be back and see you in the new year.